Men of Reddit, what is something some mom should know while raising a boy? If you tease him about personal relationships at a young age, he'll never trust you enough to talk about deep personal matters. Another is, don't share stuff your kid told you in private with your friends. Especially not during dinner when the kid can potentially hear it. It's a breach of trust that never recovers. Don't tease your sons about any female friends, it usually leads to issues with them being unable to talk to you about things when they actually do like someone. If you knock on his door and he says, "Give me a minute," give him a minute. Don't just walk in. When your teenage son suddenly wants to do his own laundry, let him. You do not need to be touching what he is trying to wash away. It's good to be involved, but don't be overbearing. The most stressed out and repressed guys I knew growing up were always the ones whose mothers controlled every aspect of their lives. Also, have trust and tell him you love him. When he's 8 years old, if he accidentally sets fire to the living room rug, go easy on him. Encourage them to be adventurous, to take smart risks, and how to negotiate. Was raised by a very overprotective mother. I learned none of these things till middle age. Have a healthy relationship with your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. Having a welcoming, stable, warm home is the very basis of being a positive influence on your children. Don't just focus on teaching him the good stuff, focus as well on being a role model for him. Edit. Whoa. This blew up quite nicely. Thank you for the support and the awards. My very first awards. If you and his father are not together or you have negative feelings towards his father, don't tell him all the time how much he reminds you of his father. Also, don't complain about the other parent in front of him. Not a gender issue, but seriously, that can really fuck with a kid, especially if both parents are still in the picture. Unless the parent is a real scumbag to the point the kid shouldn't be seeing them anymore. Then remember they love both of you, and if there's anything that'll cut a kid up, it's feeling like they have to choose between parents. Also, chances are when he's older he's likely to just choose neither of you, and you'll wonder why he's so distant. Edit. Okay, so this is now my highest rated comment ever, and I think my most replied to. So thank you for the metal, and I'm sorry I couldn't get around to replying to everyone. That being said, if you are having problems with your parents and you still live with them, I'd advise you to talk to them. Do so calmly and respectfully, and you have a chance of solving the problem. If not, then I'd advise that you just forgive them, as there is nothing to be gained by holding on to the past. While it is obviously a crappy thing to do, remember that complaining about your ex is a normal and human thing to do. Despite the negative effects, your parents probably didn't realize what they were doing at the time. There is no need to blame them for something they didn't realize at the time. Despite the fact that obviously I and a lot of other people are guilty of this. If you are arguing and he retreats to his own room or outside, don't follow along continuing the argument. Young people have a hard time expressing themselves and may need time to process the thoughts. Men are too often given the impression that they are only allowed specific responses, and unfortunately one of them is anger. As a teenager, I couldn't get away from my parents when we argued, and I ended up feeling trapped. Teach him to cook. My post-college roommate had his mom cook all of his meals. It was embarrassing to watch him try to operate a kitchen when he decided he wanted to make something of his own. Actually, knock and wait. They might not be masturbating, but they still like the privacy. Otherwise they lock the door so you can't get in. They close themselves into a mental cage because you thought it was a great idea to just barge into little Timmy's room when he specifically stated that he doesn't like it when you do that. I know this is a light-hearted subreddit, but I do hope this comment makes it through the masturbation jokes. I've sometimes thought about what would be the number one most important lesson I would teach an hypothetical son, and this is that lesson. In many regions, cities, neighborhoods and schools, there is pervasive pressure on boys to drink alcohol in order to prove their manliness. This can be more dangerous to boys than drug use because alcohol is socially acceptable, readily available, and tied to masculinity in ways that substances like hard drugs are not. Talk to your son about drinking, because alcoholism can take a hold of a boy even in middle school, and once it has its hooks in them, they'll be fighting its grasp their whole life. Alcoholism will destroy relationships, it will end love, it will strangle employment, it will take a boy who is lost and looking for a path, then turn him into a boy that will never be found. It will be that devil on their shoulder beckoning him into an early grave. Keep your promises, especially the small ones that are easy to let slip. And when you break or slip up on one, directly acknowledge it with them and apologize while trying to make amends. Even, especially, really, if they don't remember. Raising a child that keeps their word is 100% modeling, not lecture. You have to show them how to build those skills by demonstrating them daily, while reinforcing that with direct explanation of what you're doing or thinking in relevant contexts. Simply put, don't hold them or yourself to a standard of perfection or pure honesty. Expect accountability and integrity, even in failure or mistakes. It's just as important how we handle when we fail through our own mistakes as trying to avoid making them. Edit. To those who have shared their experiences, good or bad, thank you. You all deserve to have promises made to you kept. Be good to yourselves, keep being amazing. This part is easy, and know you've made someone's day better. These apply to children in general. Please explain why things are being done, like why you're going to run errands, why he has to do the dishes, why he shouldn't eat all that sugar. It's very frustrating not to know. It's also important that you reward the good things he does, and punish the bad through deprivation of reward. You should also praise work ethic over talent, as that's the biggest predictor of success. Edit. I don't mean a physical reward necessarily. Praise is often a good enough reward for anyone. When changing a diaper, have the new one ready, and cover the ween. Cold air hits and they pee. If you call for him in the other room and he responds with yes, actually ask him to come rather than not saying anything. If it's shaped like a sword, it's a effing sword. I don't care how old you are, it's a sword. Online games cannot be paused. Let him get dirty, let him fail, let him make mistakes. Know that he'll make mistakes and make him embrace the consequences of those mistakes. You can either make sure your son is always safe or make him strong. It is best for him to be strong. It is also important to note. Would you rather your son be liked by you or by other people? Sometimes the two are not compatible. Knowing the difference is intellectually and emotionally hard, but important for you to do. Mother knows best. Has some weight as a phrase, but should never be law in your relationship with you, son. It's infuriating when trying to defend yourself or what you want, while knowing the entire time you'll get dismissed entirely. Of course you should have authority over your son, but ensure you do so respectfully. Listen to what they have to say and reflect upon what is being said. Don't take those moments your son may argue with you as time to catch your breath in between berating him. That and when he may be looking for jobs, unless you live in a small town, or the place of work has a sign regarding hiring. Everywhere does job applications online. Sending him around to every shop with a CV, resume will just be a waste of paper and time. A certain generation is under the impression that it'll show you're determined and may get you a call. Where the reality is closer to, his parents clearly told him to do this. Yeah, sorry, all our job stuff is online. 1. Don't use their room as a punishment. They should feel comfortable and safe there. 2. It is okay to be sad and even cry, you just cannot use it as a weapon. 3. Don't shame them for touching themselves, just explain that it is something they should only do when they are alone. 4. This is for all kids, tell them that you love to pretend Santa is real. This allows them to engage in the spirit of the season, not spoil it for other kids while not be lying to them. 5. Apologize when you are wrong. 6. When they fall and get hurt, your initial reaction should be like whatever they did was really exciting. When they start showing sadness, then be quick to comfort. You are raising him to be a man someday. He's not your little boy forever. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. New videos released daily. Leave a comment below and let us know what Reddit content you would like us to cover next.